Good afternoon, sir. I, Shahrami, present here my case study on Satyam Computers. Along with my team, we are going to present our overview on Satyam Computers Limited. Today we are covering points: the scandal, why Mr. Ramalinga Raju confessed, auditor's role, aftermath, investigation, corporate governance, and lesson learned, and last conclusion. Now I will give you about overview for Satyam Computers. Satyam means truth in Indian language Sanskrit. The Satyam Computers was founded by Mr. B. Ramalinga Raju and his brother. The Satyam Computers was founded in year 1987 in Hyderabad. The firm began with 20 employees and grew rapidly as a business global. The company offer consulting in information in various services. It offered BPO, business process outsource, in spanning in various sectors. The Satyam fraud accounting was dubbed as Indian Enron. The order to evaluate and understand the severity of Satyam computers is to understand the factors behind the uh, decision taken by the company executives. The achievement of Satyam Groups in 2007, they achieved first and Young Entrepreneur Award of the service. In 2008, April 14, they won the award from MZ Consult for being a leader in Indian CG and accountability. In September, the World Council of Corporate and Governance awarded Satyam for Golden Peacock Award in accountability. In 2009, for being the India's crown jewel and country's fourth largest company with high profile customers, Satyam Computer Service Limited was a rising star for in Indian outsourced IT service industry. Satyam from 2009, in 2nd Jan 2009, the promoters stake fall from 8.64% to 5.13%, where institutional was the stake for pledged dubbed as a shares. In 6th Jan 2009, the promoters stake fall from 6.3%. In 2000, on 7th Jan, Mr. Ramalinga Raju has resigned and admitting that the company's accounting with the financial results. He says the company's cash and bank shown in the balance sheet was inflated and fueled with the run to an NRI of 50,000 40 millions over the Indian outsource rush to assure credibility of clients and investors. The Indian IT industry body, National Association of Software and Services, jumped to define the reputation of the Indian IT services. The people behind the scams are B. Mr. Ramalinga Raju, Satyam former MD, Ramalinga Raju, brother of Ramalinga Raju, and former MD. V. Srinivasana, ex-chief financial officer, and S. Gopal Krishna's Price Waterhouse auditor. That's all from my side now. Diksha Sharma will continue.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Deeksha Sharma and I am here to discuss about the scandal and the factors that contributed in the fraud. So the first one is manipulation of company's accounting numbers. Mr. Ramlinga Raju had confessed that he had overstated the company's balance sheet by $1.47 billion. For doing this, he had created numerous bank statements and falsified the bank accounts with the balances that didn't even exist in the reality. Further, he created 6,000 fake salary accounts. Cash from American depository receipts was never shown by them in the balance sheets. There was a global head for the company of internal audit. He also did forgery in company's board's resolution and illegally obtained a loan for the company. He made fictitious customer identities and tried to create fake invoices against their names to generate fake revenue. Next one is tunneling strategy. So basically, tunneling is an unethical business practice where the high level company insider directs the assets of company or future gains to themselves. In this case, Mr. Ramlinga Raju was trying to do exactly the same thing by trying to acquire 51% of stake in Metas Infrastructure, which was a real estate firm. There was another property known as Metis Properties, which was a fully owned subsidiary of about 1.6 billion dollars, and it was owned by the family members of Mr. Raju. There, he also had 35% of stake. Third one is negligence of ethical standards. So, the greed for power, competition, prestige led to the violation of all the duties by Mr. Ramalinga Raju and others. Their non-compliance with the corporate social responsibility of the business costed the stakeholders and the interest of stakeholders a lot. Please change the slide. Here are some items from the balance sheet and income statement of Satyam Group, which were fabricated by Mr. Ramlinga Raju and with the help of some top-level executives. First is cash and bank balances were actual worth of rupees 361 crores. They inflated it by 5,040 crores to make it 5,361 crores on the balance sheet. Second is accrued interest on deposits was inflated by 376.5 crores. When then coming to the liabilities of the business were understated by 1,230 crores. Debtors were shown as 2,651 crores, but in reality, they were about 2,161 crores, which further disclosed that they had overstated the debtors by 490 crores. If we talk about the revenue and operating profit of the business, revenue reported was 2,700 crores, and the operating profit reported was 649 crores, which was if we talk about the operating profit margin, it was 24% of the revenue, but in reality the revenue in actual was 2121 crores, and the operating profit was about only 61 crores, which shows that the operating profit margin was only 3% of the total revenues. Change the slide. Here we can see that there is a chart which shows the promoter shareholding pattern in Satyam from 2001 to 2002. So, as a part of their tunneling strategy, the promoters at Satyam, led by Mr. Ramalinga Raju, substantially reduced their shareholding in the company from 25.6% in the year 2001 to 8.76% in March of 2008. We can see that there is a reduction of about approximately 15% in the shareholding, and at the end in 2008, at the end of the year in 2008, they had merely about 2.16 crores. That's it from my side. Now I would like to call Vishwajit Rawat to continue further.
Thank you, Bhakti. Good morning, sir. My name is Vishwajit, and I am going to tell you about why Mr. Raju did confess. There are several reasons behind Mr. Raju's confession. Firstly, Mr. Raju used his personal computer. By using his personal computer, he created many numerous bank statements. However, falsified. However, he in bank falsified the bank accounts, and however he falsified the bank account and inflated the balance sheet and with balances. So the gap in the balance sheet was unmanageable proportion that could not be filled anyhow in the future. Secondly, aborted. Mehta's acquisition deal was the final deal by putting the desperate effort. uh, Mr. Raju tried to the cover up the fraud and bringing up the real assets into the business, but that deal was failed, so Mr. Raju had been confessed. Thirdly, the whistleblowers mail the whistleblowers mail to Mr. Raju's board member triggered uh, chain of a event. And fourth, Miss, the Satyam deal with Mehta's was salvageable. It could have been on. It could have been solved only if the deal been allowed to go through, as Satyam would have been able to use Mehta's acid to shore up its on its own book. Lastly, Mr. Hemant Kothari, who was the chairman of DSP Merrill Lynch, discussed with Mr. Raju and forced him to confess because there was a big hole in the balance sheet. That's all from my side. Now Harsh will continue.
Thank you, Vishwajit. Mm, Price Pricewater Cooper Corporation audit global auditing firm which audit Satyam's account book from June 2000 to until scam will come out. PwC early assured that it perform all of the company order with the accounting standard, but in this sca- in this scandal, PwC ignore large amount, approximately 1.04 billion, which Satyam claimed in a non-interest burial deposit, which should be red flagged because no company should deposit this much amount. Money should be invested somewhere else or returned to the shareholders. PwC paid twice, which raises a question that PwC didn't work properly or not check balance sheet because they are earning twice money. है ना? Merrill Lynch discovered the fraud in 10 days, which PwC failed to discover in approximately 10 years. In this case, Satyam scandal, we discovered that the auditor firm should independently verify all the statement which company is providing, and auditor firm should not trust company balance sheet and their financial statement blindly, which leads to fraud. In short, if if PwC work properly and the uh, properly and follow the auditor standard, uh, this scandal will come out early early 2000s. Thank you. That's from my side. Now Jafar will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh. Now I will tell you about the aftermath. 9 years after exit of Satyam Computer Service Limited come to light, SEBI has found PricewaterhouseCoopers, that is PwC, and its firm network guilty. But all the players, Satyam itself, PwC regulators, and even companies other than Satyam have muddled through this a long series of events. Satyam scam can be summarized in a series of a sequential events. The first one was Indian stock market fell drastically. On the 7th January 2009, confession of Raju gives out a shocking waves across all the IT corporate sectors in India. According to the given data, as we all see in the screen, right side, Indian share price in 2008 was rupees 244, which was the highest share price But after the confession, their share price drastically fell to rupees 11.50, which was the lowest share price on 10th January 2009. On the right hand side, New York Stock Exchange share price in 2008 was 29.10 US dollar. By March 2009, they were trading around 1.80 US dollar. Investors have to face huge losses of $2.82 billion in Satyam. Second one was criminal charges against Mr. Ramalinga Raju and PwC. Indian Accounting Board Standard Investigation Satyam auditors, the local unit of PricewaterhouseCoopers and police arrested Mr. Raju and his brother B. Ramaraju, a former company executive who had continued to hold the seats on the Satyam board until resign. They were they were charged with criminal breach of trust, criminal conspiracy, cheating, falsification of records, and forgery. The third one was Indian government restored confidence by appointing new board members. The Indian government has stated that it may provide temporary, direct or indirect liquidity support to the company. When they experienced large accounting standards, they appointed the new board members to prevent uh, total collapse from Satyam. Their main goal was to sell the company within 100 days. For this, the board met with bankers, accountants, lawyers, and government officials to work towards a solution. To accomplish the sale, that the board hired for this the board hired Goldman Sachs and Avendus Capital and charged them with selling the company in the shortest time span. The last one was Satyam successfully emerged from the destruction through an asset sale by Tech Mahindra as the winning bid in 2009. The priority of the new board was to sell a company to a strategic investors through a bidding process. It was not an easy task, as the key issue facing a potential bidder was the lack of uh, facing the potential bidder was the lack of clarity on the financial statement of Satyam. The SEBI appointed retired Supreme Court Judge Bhamucha for the fair process. Several companies bid on Satyam on April 13, 2009, and it was finally won by Tech Mahindra. Win the bid process to acquire the company. Satyam has rebranded as Tech Mahindra and attempted to regain its past glory. That's all from my side. Over to Ankur.
Thank you, Zafar. So I will be telling about the investigation. So after the disclosure of the fraud, authorities arrested Mr. Raju, his brother, and many people involved in the fraud, like the former MD, CFO, and Mr. Srinivas Wadlamani, who was the head of the internal audit team. And Indian authorities also arrested and charged several of the company's auditor, which was the PwC, with fraud. The ICAI stated that the CFO and the auditors were guilty for professional misconduct. The CBI also investigated Mr. Raju's overseas assets. There were also several civil and criminal charges filed in US and in India against Satyam, which still continues. Now let's see the people who got affected by the fraud. The first, employees. Employees faced many problems like non-payment of salaries, project cancellation, and equal bleak prospect of outside employment opportunities. Client lost the trust for the company and preferred to go to competitors and global clients like Cisco, Telstra, World Bank, and they cancelled their contract with Satyam. Shareholders lost their valuable investment, and bankers were concerned about the recovery of financial and non-financial exposure and the recall facility. And Indian government was worried about the image of the nation and IT sector, affecting faith to invest or to do business in a country. In the end of the Satyam, India market recovered and now Satyam lives on. Tech Mahindra purchased 51% of Satyam on April 16, 2009 and successfully saving the firm from complete collapse. This is all from my side. Now Priyanka will continue.
Thank you. Now I'm going to tell you about corporate governance. Firstly, what is corporate governance? Corporate governance is the combination of rules, processes, or law by which businesses can run or operate or regulate their business and control in their organization. The term encompasses the internal and external factor that affect interest of the company, stakeholders, investors, suppliers, and management, and also it protect the interest of investor and shareholders. Uh, Now, some points about corporate governance in Satyam Compute. Fail to show good relationship with the stakeholders and employees. In any organization, good corporate governance is one where the firm, committee, and organization adopt ethically and also ethical practices and also make good relationship with their employees and subordinate and also try to create goodwill in the market. But in case of Satyam Computer, they did not maintain their relationship in the market. Second, corporate governance issue arises because of non-fulfillment of obligation of the company towards the various stakeholders. In any organization, business transparency should be the key to promoting shareholders' trust and make goodwill in the market. But in case of Satyam, they did not fulfill their requirement towards their stakeholders, and stakeholders have right to inspect the financial book of a company, but they did not show financial book, and also they did not pay the payment to their employees at time, and also delivery of shares and did not delivery the shares on time. And in company, there is always company and board and management should be separate. But in case of Satyam Computer, they are not separate entity. Shareholder never had the opportunity to give their consent. Um, in any organization, everyone should have right to give their consent, and especially in board committee, and also who are invest in our company, they have right to take decision related investment decision. But in case of Satyam, Mr. Ram Raju Lingam, they take their own decision without any consent of any stakeholders. Uh, they were now next to next point, they were at a loss and felt cheated. Good corporate governance means conducting the business with integrity and fairness. But in computer Satyam computers, they fail to make trust, and also they did fraud. Because of that fraud, investor lost around 2.82 billions in dollars. Value violate the rules of corporate governance. Um, in every organization, there is a code of conduct and ethical and regarding ethical decision to establish for all the board of members. In case of Satyam Enterprise, they violate organizational rules and ethics. One, they not fully disclose of information to their stakeholders. Second, they show wrong financial position and also they make fake employees account, and also they also make fake bank statement. make, and also they did not protect the interest of their stakeholders. The audit committee, and next point, the audit committee member were not serious in analyzing the financial position of the company. The auditing firm of the Satyam was PwC, which is the best world accounting firm in the world, best accounting firm in the world. And despite of that, the firm was not able to uh, detect any kind of uh, fraudulent practices. And also the chief financial officer of Satyam Computer is signing off the final financial statement and not checked properly. So they both are responsible in this fraud. Now, Bhakti will continue.
Thank you, Priyanka. The Satyam Computer Services scandal brought the light to the importance of ethics and its relevance to corporate culture. Scandals from Iran to the recent financial crisis have time and time again proven that there is a need for good conduct based on strong ethics. Not surprising, such frauds can happen at any time, all over the world. Satyam Satyam fraud spurs the government of India to tighten CG norms to prevent recurrence of similar frauds in the near future. The government took prompt actions to protect the interest of the investors and safeguard the credibility of India and the nation's image across the world. The 2009 scandal in India highlighted the potential of an improperly governed corporate leader. As the fallout continues and the effectiveness felt throughout the globe economy, the prevailing hope is that some good can happen from the scandal and in the form of lesson learned. So now I would like to brief you about this lesson learned from the Satyam scandal. First is investigate all inaccuracies. The fraud scheme at Satyam uh, started very small, eventually growing into 270 $6 million in that is a white elephant in the room. Indeed, a lot of fraud schemes initially start out small, with the perpetuate thinking that small changes here and there would not make a big difference and is less likely to be detected. This send a message to a lot of companies that if your accounts are not balancing or if something seems inaccurate, even just a bit, if even just a tiny bit, it is worth investigating. That is why dividing responsibilities across a team of people makes it easier to detect the irregularities and misappropriated frauds. Secondly, corporate governance needs also to be stronger. The Satyam case is just another example supporting the need for the stronger CG. All public companies must be careful while selecting the executive and the top level managers, because these are the people who set the tone for the company. If there is corruption at the top level, it is bounded to trickle down. Also, separate the CFO and the chairperson of the board. This is uh, this is very important because splitting up the roles will help the company to avoid situations like the one of Satyam. Coming to the third point, that is ruined reputation. Do you know fraud does not just look bad on a company, it look even bad on the whole industry and a country. This was India's biggest corporate scandal in memory, which threatens foreign investment flows into Asia's third largest economy and cast a cloud over growth in its once blooming outsourcing sector. The, never, uh, the news sent in Indian equity market into a tailspin, with Bombay's main benchmark index tumbling to 7.3%, and the India's rupee fell. Now, because of the Satyam scandal, Indian rivals had come in a greater inspection by the regulators and investors and the customers. Coming to the last part of the presentation of India's Iran, that is conclusion. Uh, I would like to join jot out some points. That is, scandals are the are often the tip of the iceberg. They represent the visible catastrophic failure. The scandal of fraud has put a bigger question on the entire corporate governance of India. In public companies, the type of creative accounting leading to frauds and investigations are therefore launched by the various government oversight agencies. While second is white collar crimes. The increasing rate of white collar crimes demands stiff penalties, exemplary punishments, and effective enforcement of the law with the right spirit. White collar crimes like these do not only make the company look bad, but also the industry. The third is outcome for recent frauds. Recent corporate frauds and the outcry for the transparency and honesty reporting have given rise to two outcomes. That is forensic accounting skills, which have become very crucial in untangling the complicated accounting maneuvers that have obfuscated financial statements. The second is public demand for change, and subsequent regulatory actions has transformed CG scenario across the globe. The fact that both of these outcomes trends have the common goals of addressing the investors' concerns about the transparent financial reporting system. The failures of the corporate communication structure, therefore, has made the financial community realize that there is a great need for skilled professionals that can identify, expose, and prevent structural weaknesses in three key areas. First is poor corporate governance. Second is flawed internal controls. Third is fraudulent financial statement. The fourth point is the key objectives of the case. We have analyzed in this presentation the in-depth of Satyam Computers Limited accounting scandal by portraying the sequence of events. Second is the aftermath events, the key parties involved, major reforms undertaken in India, and the last is lessons learned. The fifth one is role of Indian government. The Indian government in the Satyam case took many safeguards the credibility of India and the nation's image across the world. Moreover, to rewrite CG rules and tighten the norms for the accountants and auditors. The last is sixth, unethical culture. The Satyam, especially dominated by the board, symbolizes an unethical culture. On one hand, his rise to stardom in the corporate world, coupled with immense pressure to impress investors, made Mr. Raju compelled leader to deliver standing results, outstanding results. On the second hand, we can say that on the contrary, Mr. Raju had to suspect his own his own morals and values in favor of the greater good of the company. The board, convinced with his actions and stood as the blind spectator, the attraction of big compensation to members further encouraged such behavior. But unfortunately, in the end, the real truth is sought, and those violating the legal ethics and social norms are the uh, task taken as per the process of laws. The public confession of the fraud by Mr. Ramalingan Raju speaks of the integrity still left in him as an individual. His acceptance of guilt and balance for the whole failure should shows us a bright spot of an otherwise tempered character. After quitting Satyam as a chairperson, Raju said, "I am now prepared to subject myself in the hands of laws and consequent and have I'm ready to bear the consequences of the fraud." Mr. Raju had many ethical dilemmas to face now, and his president in immoral responding brought him on his own demise. The fraud had to end, and the implementations were having the reaching consequences. Thus, we can conclude it by saying Satyam scam was not an accounting or auditing failure, but was an CG. That brings me to the end of the presentation. Thank you for the patience listening.